Now, next one is what? What kind of elements were in the process of persuasion? The first one, would you want to go in terms of reason or would you want to go in terms of emotion? Now, look at a telecommunication company and the advertisement that they make. Most of them, they look in terms of emotion, connecting people, feeling good, bonding, or relationship. They look in terms of emotion to enhance the product. But some people, they use a reason in terms of an advertisement done by Calcium and Enlin. They'll show how many % of women didn't take enough calcium, and that's a really serious problem. So they use reasoned approach. Now, some people would argue, would you use reason or would you use emotion? Now, this is one tips for you to that you can learn. Now, in an experiment, they say that emotion is better to be used when the people are less educated, when people are less focused on the importance of knowledge, more in terms of the feeling, happiness, yeah? Now, for reasons, when you have a talk or when you have a seminar, when you want to persuade someone, you've got to give credible reasons or facts or statistic, and that people would buy your words. If you bring in a group of professors and you want to sell something and what you're talking is just happiness and joy or anger, people would not buy your product and people would think that your talk is rubbish, yeah? But if you bring in a groups of aunties or a groups of children, especially children, they don't want to know facts. They don't want to know how many % died of cancer, okay? Now, if you want to encourage children not to smoke, you don't have to show them facts. You just show them pictures, pictures of cancer, okay? The first response that they will give is that, ooh, it is so disgusting and I'm not gonna smoke when I grow up, okay? Even the smell disgusts me. So these are some of the emotions that you aroused, the emotions that they have. Now, it becomes difficult when we come into dealing with teenagers in terms of smoking, because they no longer talk about emotions. Yep, we'll discuss later on. Now, next one, you want to talk about good feelings or also fear. When we want to look into emotions, some people, they focus on good feelings, happiness, yeah? But some people look in terms of fear. They want to scare you. Recently, there's an advertisement on the sun. The sun on the front page, they'll talk about the syndrome, meaning in a room, it is filled with dust and it's very harmful to your household. So they want to create a fear, and through fear, it is they hope that they would change your attitude and also your behavior. Antivirus program as well. They'll show you how serious is it for your computer to be infected with virus and worm, and they would encourage you to just buy their products. Yeah, good feelings. Mostly, they want you to buy their products because it makes you happy. In terms, most famous one is the DG. Yep, they just want you to feel good about their product. Next one is the channel. How would you use, what kind of approach would you approach your subject or the individual? Would you use a personal approach or a media approach? A personal approach is more a one-to-one person talking basis. Yeah, this one happens when a cult like Jehovah's Witness, they would have a personal approach. They want to touch your heart. But some people, they would choose to use a media as a channel to persuade you. Now, media could be in terms of newspaper or magazines or shopping centers, their advertisement, or pamphlets. Now, these are some kinds of medias that they used. Now, which one personally would you prefer? The last one is to whom? To whom you would want to, who is your audience actually? Now, I write there all, it's because sometimes it's harder to change people of elder people because most of the time, their attitude has already fixed and it's very hard to change. And when you speak to them, they have one kind of response towards one's issue. It is very hard to change. Now, the best time for someone to persuade someone is during their children year or during their teenage year. This is when they form their habit, their fixed habit or their pattern, and they would make a persuasion. They will be persuaded to buy your products. Now, one thing I would like to talk to here is the cult issue. We realize in any religion there are many cults existing in the world, and it keeps arising. New cults are being formed. How do we respond to that? But how absurd that we think that they are, or their theory is. But some, they still have so many followers. You can search into YouTube and you can find all the cults, the names, what kind of beliefs that they have. They would call themselves, their religion could be Islam, or their religion could be Christianity. But then they behave in a really different approach. They even call themselves God, or they call themselves the prophets. Or the last man to come. So now, beware of these people. Now, when they have these people have a kind of charisma that people are attracted to. They have a kind of vibe that people want to approach them. Yep, not everyone could be a cult leader. They need to have a specific charisma. Next one. To whom especially, if you look at the cult leader, the followers that they have, mostly when they join the cult, it's when they have an issue. They were in a separate way. They have to make decisions in life. They're in a new stage. So they're really in a really conflicting stage. That's when they join cult to gain their new belief. Yep. People who are straight, who are focused, who know what they are doing, who are strong-willed, who are driven well, they don't normally join cults. Yeah? Now, next one is the cognitive response model of persuasion. Now, this is easier for you to understand. It is developed by Greenwald et al. Et al. Hereby means it is not developed by just Greenwald, but also a group of people. Yeah, more than 6 people. Now, in 2008. Now, the first thing, the model of persuasion, he said that it is in your information recall. How much do you recall? Sometimes the information that we get, we just forget about it. But sometimes it becomes important to us that we recall them back. We are able to recall them back, okay? And that will result in terms of your attitude change. Yep. It is all in your cognition. It is true, it is all in your cognition because it depends on how you think. And also to create some favorable thought. Next one, after that, you'd have your thought listing, meaning you group them into a favorable or not favorable terms. Let's say if I talk about a water filter, would you think it's a good thing or it's a bad thing? Yeah? Now, another thing is that distraction could reduce your information input. So if you want to persuade someone, it is important that they are not distracted by many things. You can't sell a product when they are in a concert, okay? You can sell a product when they have nothing to do or when they are in a park, okay? Now, some people tend to persuade someone when they are distracted. So most likely, they won't listen to you, and most likely, they'll just brush you off. Now, how do attitudes change? Now, just now we have talked about attitude do changed. Okay, it depends on the situation we are in. Now, let's say if I were born in Iraq, okay, I would have hated America so much. But let's say if I have moved since young, if I've moved to America at the age of 5 and I've stayed there for 20 years, do you think I would still hate America? Not so much, okay? It depends on the situation you are in. Okay, that's why when people switch from one place to another place, they change their attitude along the way, and this would affect your behavior. Your behavior doesn't necessarily means your change, okay?